Elon sat in the corner of the school library, lost in a book about space. The room was filled with chatter, laughter, and footsteps. None of it included him. He wasn't just shy. He was nearly invisible. He stayed silent. And he thought. He imagined. He dreamed of rockets, of electric cars, of humans living on Mars. While the world around him looked small, Elon's mind wandered far beyond it. At home, things weren't easy either. His parents separated when he was young, and Elon chose to live with his father, a decision he later called the worst mistake of his life. There was tension, strictness, and emotional scars that couldn't be seen. Yet, through it all, Elon found his escape: books and computers. At just 12 years old, he coded and sold his first game, Blast. But there was no celebration, no spotlight, just the quiet tap of keys in a dimly lit room, and a young boy building his first brick toward the future. At 17, Elon left South Africa, alone, with a backpack, a few $100s, and a heart full of ambition. He believed the future would be built in America. He worked odd jobs, lived in cheap apartments, slept on couches. Sometimes he could barely afford food. But Elon didn't come to America to be comfortable. He came to build. Most people chase comfort. Elon chased possibility. He enrolled at the University of Pennsylvania, where he double-majored in physics and economics, and while others were partying, Elon was dreaming bigger than anyone around him. After college, he jumped headfirst into his first startup, Zip2, a city guide for newspapers. He lived in the office, literally. He showered at the local YMCA, slept on a beanbag, and worked 7 days a week, when investors told him to step down as CEO because he was too inexperienced. He didn't argue. He observed. He learned. Years later, Zip2 sold for $307 million. Elon made $22 million from the deal. Did he buy a mansion? No. He poured it into something even crazier, XCOM, which later became PayPal. After PayPal sold to eBay, Elon walked away with $180 million. He could have retired, bought islands, lived a quiet life. But remember, this was the boy who dreamed of Mars, so he did something no investor wanted to hear. He started a rocket company, SpaceX, an electric car company, Tesla, a solar company, Solar City. The media laughed. Investors doubted. Experts said he was crazy. He'll lose all his money. Electric cars are dead. Only governments build rockets. Even his own rockets exploded multiple times in a row. But Elon, he stayed focused, he stayed silent, and he kept building. It was 2008. Tesla was on the verge of bankruptcy. SpaceX had failed its third rocket launch. His fortune was nearly gone. He had to choose, save Tesla or SpaceX, but instead of choosing one, he risked everything to save both. He bet it all on the edge of failure. That's where legends are born. Then came a miracle. The fourth SpaceX launch? Success. And NASA signed a $1.6 billion contract with SpaceX. Tesla got emergency funding just in time. The boy who was once too afraid to speak had just shouted to the world, with action. SpaceX lands rockets. Tesla becomes the most valuable car company in the world. Starlink connects remote areas globally. Neuralink explores the mind. The Boring Company digs tunnels under cities. Elon Musk, the silent boy, became Time's Person of the Year. But despite the noise around him, he remains different, focused, odd, and brilliant. He still doesn't speak much unless necessary. He tweets strange memes. He works 80-plus hours a week. But one thing is certain: his silence was never weakness. It was his superpower. So, if they laugh at your dreams, stay silent. If they doubt your worth, let your work speak, because silence isn't failure. Sometimes, it's the beginning of a future no one else can see.